So you're thinking about buying a home in San Diego, but you're still a little curious on how the market's actually doing here in San Diego. Well, in this video, I'm gonna go over exactly that because I'm sure you've seen the news, the headlines, all that stuff lately about how there's a pending doom coming to real estate, on how the bubble's about to burst, and I could go on and on about some of these headlines, but today I really just wanna dive in and just kind of go into, are we in a buyer's market or are we in a seller's market? That's a question I'm getting a lot lately, and I wanna just go through the data and show you guys what's actually happening in our market here in San Diego so you can make a more educated decision. So if you're thinking about buying something here in the next 6 months or a year, I would definitely watch this video and we'll get after it now. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here and you like to know more about San Diego real estate and life in San Diego, make sure you tap that subscribe button below. My name is Nick and I get calls, texts, emails daily from you guys now and I love it. So if you're thinking about making a move here in a week, a month, a year, make sure you reach out. I'd love to help save you a lot of time and just help you make a smooth move here to San Diego. Now, let's talk about the San Diego real estate market because there's just that big pending doom like I've been telling you, and it's all over the headlines, and you know, real estate's crashing and this and that. And definitely it's been going down. It's definitely been going down, but I want to go over some of the data with you guys, and especially if you're a visual learner, I'll hop on my computer and I'll kind of walk you through some of these charts and make it as simple as possible so you just know what's going on and you can make a more informed decision whether you're going to buy now, whether you're going to buy in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. Like I said, for the past 2.5, 3 years, it has been a crazy real estate market, and it's all been pushed by about 3 things. The first one's going to be historically low interest rates. The next one is going to be record low inventory levels. I mean, we still have that right now. And the third is just going to be an influx of people just migrating from all over the place to San Diego. Especially with this like remote thing and people being able to work remote, a lot of people were coming here from all over the world, really. A lot of people really from California, they're used to the taxes, and San Diego had a very appealing price. So I was seeing a lot of people come from, you know, the Bay Area, Seattle, I was seeing New York, Chicago, some of these more expensive areas. People were literally coming here and they're saying, wait, Nick, it's how much for a house? And I have room to breathe? Like, I'll take 2. I was seeing that all day long, and it was very apparent because they weren't even getting a loan. It was all cash, and they were going $100,000 over, $150,000 over, $50,000 over. So they're winning these houses and they're just bringing up values in all these neighborhoods. So it was great if you owned a home there. It was awesome, but it was really tough when you were a buyer, and it was just really easy to get very unmotivated. Now that market has completely changed, and you know, it's all based on rates, because rates were back in January of 2022, they were about 4 to 5%. Now we're all the way up to about 7%. They've been going up and down right near that 7%. So that's huge. That's nearly double. So that's gonna drown a lot of people out and make affordability a lot more difficult. But the main question I'm gonna answer for you guys today is, are we in a buyer's market or are we in a seller's market? The only difference between the two is who has more leverage, right? So a buyer's market, the buyer is gonna have more leverage. A seller's market, the seller is gonna have more leverage. And it really comes down to one factor, and it's a month's supply of inventory. And what this means is, for example, let's say there's 3 months of inventory here in San Diego. That means that if nothing else was put on the market that day, we would be completely sold out of inventory or listings in about 3 months. So we'd have nothing else. So that's kind of where they put into place, and they say, hey, are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market, or is it neutral? Now, a 6 months supply of inventory is going to be considered a neutral market, and that's going into a buyer's market. So anything past, I'd say 5.5 to 6 months of inventory is now considered a buyer's market, right? Because the buyers have more choices now. There's 5 months of inventory. And back in, you know, not even back in the day, I want to say back 2 years ago, this past 2 years, it's literally been anywhere from 3 weeks to a month of inventory on the regular. That was a very average thing here in San Diego. So the buyers had no choices, and that was different all over the country. What does that mean? If nothing else came to market, well, there's a month of inventory, well, we'd be completely sold out in a month. So it's gonna create some sort of frenzy. But let's hop into my computer because I wanna show you what that inventory level is right now. All right, so I have the month supply of inventory pulled up, and how they measure this is pretty interesting. So what they actually do is they actually take the inventory of homes for sale at the end of the month, and then they actually divide that by the average monthly pending sales from the last 12 months. So that's how they come up with these numbers. But here is the month supply of inventory. This is gonna be some of the most recent data here in San Diego, and it's actually from the San Diego Association of Realtors. So this is from September. And you can see right here, this is for all properties. It doesn't matter if it's single family, condo, or what price range really. So the month supply of inventory we have right now is 1.7 months. So we're just shy, we're getting to 2 months. We're not quite there yet, but that's where we're at currently. Now, if you look at September of last year, September 2021, we had a month of inventory. So it's gone up a little bit, not significantly, but it has gone up a little bit. And it's at that average last year, like I said, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks is what I was seeing on average. So it's gone up a little bit, and it's just something that you really need to pay attention to as we start to see more inventory come to the market. But still, we're not seeing that much happen. So as you can see, after looking at some of that data and seeing that, our current inventory levels are not even at 2 months yet, we know that 6 months is a neutral market. So we're not even close. But hey, do I think we're in a buyer's market? I'll tell you that soon, and I'll give you some things about that. Right now, I want to jump back in my computer, and I want to show you guys some more stats, and just show you guys, the median sales price, the average days on market, price per square foot, and how many price decreases we've been seeing in the last couple months. I think you'll find this really interesting. All right, so this is going to be more of a San Diego real estate market report overall of all of San Diego County. Now, this is different from the Association of Realtors data. This is going to be Altos Research. No affiliation, but to my knowledge, this is some of the best data that I can get my hands onto. And it's very user friendly and it's very simple, which I love. Here is San Diego County, and how this is broken up, I'm only going to go into houses. So they have housing, which is going to be detached and single family homes, and then they have condos. So 2 different sectors. But for the sake of this conversation, we will do just detached homes, and this is going to be up till the end of September. So as you can see right here, the median list price for San Diego County is at about $1 million. So the inventory has held steady at around 3,000 units. And then you can see right here how they're judging the market is they're still saying we are in a strong seller's market. You can see right here that it's got a little bit of ways to go till we're actually in a buyer's market statistically. But let's look a little bit at this real-time market report. This is what I like. So this is what I want to show you guys is the median list price at the end of September is about $1 million. And if we go back to about June, which is, 3-4 months ago, we're at 1.1 million. So it's gone down about 10% here in San Diego. Is it going to keep going down? How far is it going to go? Timing the market is nothing that I would recommend. Now that we know the median list price and how it's gone down, let's look a little bit at the average days on market. It's at 67, but you go back to June, it's at 42. And I want you to keep in mind that rates were right around that June time frame. Rates were at about 5.5%. So this is when people were starting to get spooked. Rates were going up. Affordability was going down. So 67 days on market, 42 days back in June. And this one's the most interesting one that I've been finding is because it's really hard to price a property right now, especially with rates being so volatile and pumping around, is you can't necessarily look at comparable properties in that neighborhood that sold, maybe 2-3 months ago. That's trash data. That's way too old. Rates were different. So we have to kind of price a little bit different now. And you can see it right here. 41% of homes have had a decrease, which is huge. That's nearly 1 out of 2 homes are seeing a price reduction. That's very huge. And if we go back all the way to June, 27%, so 1 out of 4 homes are seeing a price reduction. So a lot different, but I think that's something that, everybody needs to be aware of. Everybody needs to be watching these numbers because that's kind of what's going on in the market. So I want to actually pull up this too really quick, and you can see the median list price. We already kind of went over that, but $1 million is what we're at today. And if you go back to, let's even just say for the sake of the conversation, let's go to June. Now let's go to October of last year, October 1st, 939,000. So it's still dramatically up. It's going down, but how far is it going to dip down? I don't know. Inventory levels are still really low. So it's just one of those things you have to just stay educated and do what's right based on your job, your life events, and your family. So statistically, you can see that we are definitely in a seller's market. And I want you to think about this real quick, because if rates were to go down from 7% to 4 or maybe 5% tomorrow, there would be an all-out frenzy again, and it would be a full-on seller's market. They would have all the leverage in the world again, and that's because we have such low inventory here in San Diego, and rates would be low. But I want to let you know that I truly believe to this day, right now, we are in a buyer's market. And why do I think that? Well, buyers have way more leverage now, and that's only been a thing for the past, month, maybe month and a half. But it's something you need to know about, because there's so many things you can do. And my clients that are still shopping and putting out offers, we're getting exceptional deals under contract. I mean, all the closing costs are being paid for. Their sellers are even paying for a temporary rate buy down, which means the sellers will credit you, a point, maybe 2 points to buy down your rate so it's more affordable. So if the rate today is 7%, this seller can buy down your rate so it's maybe 6% or 5% for the next 1 year to maybe 3 year. It's all situational, but the good news is you can always refinance later whenever those rates go back to the normal amount, like 5 or 6%, which is very normal. Then you can refinance and boom, you'll be in a happy place, and you technically got that house at a very good discount, right? You only had to come out of pocket for your down payment. You got all your closing costs covered. It's just something I've been seeing, and it's something that's been happening with some of my clients, and they love it. So it's just something to think about, and that's my 2 cents on the whole subject. And let me know in the comments below if you think I'm crazy, Nick, you're nuts, the market's gonna crash, you're gonna see it soon. That's fine, let me know down below. And if you agree with me, that's cool too, say something below. And like I said, if you guys have a question or you need something, feel free to reach out. My info is in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video.